Because why not, right? It wouldn't be right. Chubb's in the back chilling. Just kind of want to jump in for a little bit. I was doing the going live sessions on Monday and Tuesdays, but due to some meets that happened over the weekend, I did have some videos to upload. And it's not that I wouldn't have, I couldn't upload them on Tuesday and Wednesday, but I know that people want to watch, their cars and uh, I don't know. It's like I want to see what I did over the weekend. You know what I mean, type of thing. So, um, yeah, just kind of want to jump in for a little bit. I know that it's a little bit earlier than usual, but honestly, it's just a way for me to kind of catch up with you guys, see what you guys are up to, um, kind of share what I'm up to. And what's up, Samuel? What's up, Noah? Thank you guys both for tuning in. Nobody cares, low culture. Nobody cares that you're second. And I'm good. I'm good, Samuel. Thank you for asking. And so, just kind of want to jump in for a little bit, just so, man, it's been a busy week for me. Editing, uploading, work. Even right now, I think I want to eat something and then go and wash the car. Maybe do a wash and talk. I don't know. It's definitely it gets tiring. It gets tiring for you guys. It's 10-minute videos, but for me, it's a struggle. And sometimes going to sleep late playing video games doesn't help the cause. And so the next day I'm really tired. But overall, we're good. As always, let's start off with some of the channels that I kind of want to share with you guys. Today, I'm rocking my buddy's Honda Vlogs shirt, so I think it's only right we start with him. If you guys are not aware, if you guys don't like, if you guys like Hondas, I think that this channel will definitely be of value to you. Um, my buddy Chris from Honda Vlogs, he's been putting in the work. Um, he really used to do a lot of just kind of recaps of different channels and just keeping up with Honda stuff. Lately, he's been doing more like a podcast type of style. I mean, last week I didn't get to watch it, but he ended up just do like something like myself right now, going live and I like watching his stuff. I like putting in the background and doing some other things. Sometimes I'll be replying to you guys and I have him in the background. And like I said, he's talking a lot of Honda related stuff. Um, New stuff, mostly old school 80s, 90s stuff. Definitely a channel that I would recommend if you are looking for more like a podcast. I know some of you, Rob from Canada, I see your comments on their video on his videos. So I know some of you guys are very aware of who he is. Super cool, down to earth guy. He helped me out a lot and continues to help me. So I think you should definitely just give it a try. And yeah, I mean, he also has merch. I'm rocking his shirt, and he has some other cool stuff. And again, a small channel, just trying to continue doing what he loves, and I hope he doesn't give up because I don't know. I like his energy, his voice. I think he has a very good voice. I think he has good energy. He's good, but obviously he's only doing one video per week. I wish he would do more, but you know, I get it, time constraints. The second one and the third one are going to be Instagram pages that I think you guys should definitely be following. A lot of you guys are like, well, I don't have social media, so I don't know about the meets. I'll try to post the meets here on the community tab. But for those that do know, um, Old School Honda is the one that hosts some of the meets. And if you have an social media Instagram, you should definitely follow him. And the reason why is because he's already thinking about an EF versus DA meet. Personally, I think they're both basura. I think courts are the best. But now it's gonna be fun. I mean, it doesn't mean that you can't bring your Civic. Doesn't mean that you can't bring your DA. I mean, your Accord or any other type of car. I mean, it's almost like a little theme that he wants to do, and I know that he's gonna be able to, um, you know, rock it. And I think that that's part of it. Like he's obviously uh, very supportive with me. Um, Huge shout out to Super Street. They came out and supported his meet, and a few people are gonna get featured out of that meet. And so not only for the fact that he posts some good stuff too, he holds good meetings, good meets. The next one is coming up in San Diego as well. I think this one he'll do in the LA area, but the next one will be in San Diego. So definitely keep it up. Old School Honda, his name is Isaac, as the guy who runs it, and obviously check out his Big Cartel. He has little stickers and things of that nature, just the ways of supporting the channel. Little pins. Um, Again, small businesses, family man, doing things that most of us don't even know about, and just loves, just shows the support any way, shape, or form. Like I mentioned, out of that meet, my buddy Brandon, he runs a page. His Instagram is WEF, shut up, WEF, shut up. But obviously, it's a little idea when it comes to the um, EF that he drives, and we know Miley. Miley is his all-wheel drive Honda Civic EF that he's putting in the work. He ended up getting a dog box tranny. Um, this is the new setup. I don't know exactly horsepower, um, but it's definitely high up there, and this thing should be moving. Like I mentioned, he ended up getting uh, a little bit of spotlight from Honda Tuning, and I believe this upcoming Monday he'll have a proper shoe with Super Street. So very, very cool to him. Very props. Also, he's building this Tegra all-wheel drive K20 Z3 for his son. So I don't, Brandon, I'll call you daddy if you build me one of those cars. I don't care. So he's in that for his kids, and it's pretty cool to see. And I'm glad that I saw Miley. She's out and about now. New wheel tire setup, I really dig. It doesn't. She's no longer like that subtle look that she once was. But I mean, I think because of the power upgrades, he had to kind of go ahead and do some other shit. But obviously, that's just what he wanted. He wanted the exit from the turbo to be from the hood instead of down low where he had him before. But pretty cool guy, talks a lot of smack. But yeah, as you guys can tell, he's building a lot of stuff. He picked up another wagon that was just supposed to be a cruiser. Now he's doing a B20V. I mean, the guy's doing a whole bunch of stuff, and cool guy. Like I said, it's worth showing some love to him. And yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, that's kind of what I wanted to share with you guys when it comes to those Instagram pages, YouTube pages. Let me know how you guys have been enjoying the process that I've shown you with Jackie. Francisco did go into the junkyard today to pick up a couple other pieces for the interior, so now that can start getting taken care of. It's exciting, man. It's exciting. I can't wait to drive Jackie back. At the same time, I'm enjoying the daily so much. I mean, not the fact that the windshield is getting cracked even more because it just keeps expanding. But other than that, I think that I'm enjoying the way she drives the daily. It's quite amazing. It's smooth. Also, I haven't got an update from the suspension. I should probably give him a shout out and be like, hey, what's going on with that? Because I think it's been a week. It's been a month. Maybe it's been 3 weeks. Maybe I'm exaggerating. And once I get that, then I'm gonna swap that out, and hopefully we can get Jackie the other setup, the newer coilover setup, and that's going to be a little bit more stiffer. And then for the daily, I can finally lower it. And I've been enjoying, driving her stock, but at the same time, lower is the better looking aesthetically way. So we're probably gonna head out and do that. Kill Honda, yo, first catching one of these. Appreciate it, man. It's just me mumbling, just me just talking, answering some questions, just having a conversation. Um, the topic that I have today is it's Civic related, and you owe us a watch and talk with Rosie. Why not, brother? Yeah, man, that's a car I want to watch. She's filthy and the weather's pretty decent. I think it's a good time, but it's too something. I have to eat, and I also have trivia night. I have a group of friends that we play trivia, and so we're hosting today. So we did that PowerPoint, and so I gotta do that, and so I definitely will try to get you guys a watch and talk very, very soon. I definitely do appreciate that. Kill Honda. First things first. Shout out to my boy Tiger Woods. Hope you're good, dog. I guess shout out to Tiger Woods. I somebody sent it to me. That was Rob. I not to be disrespectful to Tiger Woods or any celebrity. I don't really care about them. He also sent me. Rob did send me that Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, whatever, got a divorce. I give two shits about those people. So, but thanks, Rob. I guess for sending me that. I guess he figures I'm in Cali, so I care about those stuff. Serious question. What do you think about Zaj MFG or Milton Films. Very cool Honda guys on the come up or blowing up in the scene with his builds just like you. Zaj, am I thinking about the guy from Florida? Zaj? I haven't been following up with his channel to be honest with you. I was at one point, but then he just started trying to like do his comedy thing, and it was just him just talking like me right now. I don't know. I wasn't into it, so I don't know if that's the one you're talking about. And then Milton Films, I'm gonna be honest with you, I never heard of them, but I'm sure they're bringing up. They're probably blowing up in the sense that people are liking. Are I know Saj grew a lot from those reaction videos, scaring my girlfriend or whatever. That's cool. That's cool. I'm happy for them. But I don't really tend to watch those videos for the same reason that it's usually the same thing. But I mean, I haven't been watching them. I have to go back to work. I'll watch the rest of the video later. Bye, everyone. It's not like you even work, phone, so don't even pretend like you're working. I'll try to download the game, Tom Clancy Breaking Point Trial. Oh, I'll try to download it today. Kelly Six, I have a wagon that I'm building up, but I kind of need some inspiration. I hope you let us know about the meets here. Um, yeah, man. I mean, we had two awesome meets this past weekend. The next one, I believe, is gonna be invite only. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to post that one on the community tab. I don't think I'm gonna be able to go. Either one is the monthly one for me, Joe Live Drive Slow. But if anybody's in Vegas, there is gonna be a nice Cars and Coffee next month on the 20th. I should be making it out to Vegas, and it'd be dope to see some of you guys out there. I think I'm gonna leave on Friday, spend the night Friday night over there. Saturday morning, I believe that's the meeting in Pancho's restaurant or something like that. I'll post that meeting, and then Sunday morning I'll dip back home early, so I can get some rest and get ready for the work week. But that's gonna be on the 20th of March in Las Vegas. So if you're in Vegas or nearby, I think you should stop by and just kick it, and that way you can get some more inspiration, man. And wagon for the win. Noah, yeah, for those that don't have social media, posting the meets here would appreciate that a lot. Yeah, man, I'm trying, but sometimes just so much shit, man, so much stuff that goes on that I get distracted and I don't do it. But I'll definitely continue to try to put them. Hey guys, what's up, Gene? Still, you're walking your route. I appreciate it, man. And then Jackie looking wet. Yeah, man. The paint job's coming. Like I said, it's good. It should be. I think my parts. Francisco told me that the parts arrived today, and by parts I mean my rack and pinion, power steering, and some other good stuff. So now he's gonna start rebuilding it. Yesterday he redid the whole seals on the engine, so all that is done. And yeah, I mean that's that. Why she called Jackie? I don't know. I think there was I don't remember, but I think there was a girl in El Modena High School. That was the second high school that I went to. Her name was Jacqueline. She was like she would always call herself, she was Islander, so I don't know, Philippines or whatever. She was really cool, and I always liked that name. I didn't like her. I didn't have a crush on her or anything. She was just very cool. She was one of the very first people to talk to me when I ended up going to another high school, and so I've always that name Jacqueline, and then Sophia, that was the STI. I like that name, because when you shorten it, Sophie, and then Rosie, my little niece picked that name for these new daily, and so I think that's where it came from. I like the name Jackie, um, but no, I mean that's pretty much the I guess the reason why I named her that, but nothing super special. I just like the shortness of it. Zosh has a great build, K20, K24 Integra. I'm familiar with his build. I just for a while he just the stuff that he was posting, it was not even his Civic that he had at one point or his Integra, so I just kind of lost interest. Um, no, Mr. Rio, that Fiji water. All right, you guys are having all conversations about other stuff. All right. So, anyways, yeah, I'll let you guys have your own little talk on the chat. The conversation that I want to have today, it really revolves around. So some of you guys understand the Washington Talks were inspired from this dude's channel called Obsessed Garage, and Obsessed Garage is some gentleman that washes his cars, and mostly high end cars, GT3 RSs, M3s, things of that nature. Not like exotics, but high end performance cars. And so he just picked up a Civic that now he will be. He's not gonna call it a raffle because the way you enter, you're gonna have to buy a product from him, and then that's how your name gets entered. And so legally, that's the way they go around all these. But I call it gambling. I call it raffle, whatever you want to call it. Now, would I be buying something from his shop? I'm not, even if I do like their products. I have no interest. Not necessarily because I don't like the car. I love the car. In fact, I think that the reason why um, I don't would not support that is mostly because the hidden message. And what I mean by the hidden message, there's a lot of you guys that really, really like Civics. There's a lot of you that really, really love Civics. And the fact that it's a great marketing move from his end to buy a Civic, because he knows that there's a lot of people that will tune in and have some love for the chassis. But for people like him with a bigger and the reason I feel comfortable saying that is because he feels very comfortable speaking his mind, and he will say how it is. So I feel like I also have the right to do that. Um, I just don't feel that it's appropriate for somebody to buy a Civic because, quote unquote, back in when he was 19, that's what he wanted, right? We know that you're not buying it because you want it again. You're buying it because a Honda Civic gets you more attention, whether it be views, whatever the case may be, than a Porsche GT3 RS. Let's be honest. There's just amount of people that buy Civics is here, everyday normal people, and then there's a Porsche GT3 RS. And so the giveaway consists of his Civic. He picked it up for like 25,000. It had like 37,000 miles, original EM1 SI EBP. And he ended up swapping in an ITR. Now, some of you guys are like, well, what's the problem? Because like, that's pretty cool. I'm like, the problem that I see is that then he, during the videos, he's like, yeah, this is awesome, blah, blah, blah. But then towards the end of the whole build series, I've never seen that guy wrench or turn a wrench ever. So I don't. He calls them that he builds them, and I know I'm sounding very negative. I actually been watching his videos nonstop. I really enjoy his voice. I enjoy his conversations. I enjoy his content. I don't necessarily agree with the way he's going about the Civic part. Let that be the differential factor. I still enjoy watching. He's very transparent about some other stuff, and there's things that he says that I'm like, okay, dude, like you seem like you know it all, and it bugs, but I still like most of it. I can see past that. And one of the things that really bothered me was he he was doing this podcast with these other two dudes, Porsche, fanatics, Pete Talk, whatever. And this guy, the main guy, Obsessed Garage, Matt, he's like, just Civics are horrible. They're terrible. It was cool when I was 19, but it's a terrible car to drive. It's just not something that I would want. And I took offense to that because, some of you guys, when I put that on Instagram, you guys said when the money changes, that's when the whole attitude changes. Like, they're not terrible cars. They're amazing cars. As a matter of fact, like if you knew how to take an engine apart, you would realize that there's been so much technology that has gone to those cars. And the fact that just because you're paddle shifting a G33 RS, uh, it's going to be completely different than a Civic Si. I get it. I get where he's coming from, but I also take it as a way of, you have no respect for the culture of it. And yes, just because you can afford, or you have a lot of debt, whatever the case may be, you want to call it, high-end cars like a GT3 RS, M3, I don't know, he has a Tesla, whatever. It doesn't mean that the Civic Si is a horrible car. Now, why am I getting so triggered about this? I'm getting so triggered about this because it's the same people that really love the culture that are gonna go and buy into what he's trying to do, which is, he just did another video that I actually did watch, and it says how I spent $140,000 on my Civic, and the appeal to that is that he bought the ITR and the swap, and he paid about 12 grand. So we know that he overpaid because he doesn't do the work himself. And we also know that the shop that did business with him, they're like, oh, dude, this is gonna be a nice transaction because now we can make more money out of it. We know that. I know that some of you guys, there's no way, you can probably knock that swap out within 6 grand, or 7, at most 10. I mean, that's pushing it if you replace a whole bunch of other things. So he add up all the prices and everything, and I'm like, damn, my guy, like you spent a lot of money. Yet you're talking about how horrible this car is and this and that, and he's like, you guys gotta buy a bunch of crap from my store so that way I can do this again. His whole goal is if I break even 140 grand, then that's a win for me. No, it's not. Be honest, it's not. You're gonna be disappointed. You're hoping that you spend 140 grand and then that you get 300,000, so then you get somebody to pocket in your money. It's a business. We get it. I'm not hating on that part, but don't pretend like, oh well, if I barely make it, then we're good. And sadly, people will buy in. People will spend their money, and that's just part of it. I mean, that's not neither here or there, but it's like, how can people support something that it's really bashing on them? He even created a shirt called Honda Bros, and the way he says it, the way I interpret it is almost like demeaning. It's like my little Honda Bros. He says little, like, one of the conversations that Chris from Honda Vlogs, the channel that I just showed you guys, yeah, everybody thinks that Hondas are cheap. No, they're not cheap. Are they more affordable? There's a difference. Yes, they're more affordable than a Porsche, but guess what? Some of you guys are spending a lot of money on your Hondas, and they're amazing parts and built to to the T. Um, but yet we're okay with these other personalities that go and buy Hondas because they know that's going to grab views, and then they just trash them and then they get rid of them. That's the sad part. And I know that is not you guys who are tuning into these live sessions. I think most of you guys, if I was to take an average of, the age here, I think you guys are in the 20 to 35 range. I think that most of these kids that log in and give them all these views are youngsters. They're 14 to maybe 19, that they're still into that whole little world, and they get excited about somebody else building a Civic that really they don't really care for. We've seen that in major bigger channels where I bought a Civic, a cheap Civic, and I'm just gonna cut the coils and I'm just gonna have fun with it, and they know that they get their little views for a little bit, and then their channel continues to grow, and then they go buy real cars. And I think that's the biggest issue. That I'm not somebody who likes to spread negativity or anything, but I also think that it's important to share a point of view and say, like, yeah, I get it. Like, your money's different now. You're still the same person that you were once at 19. Whether you think you're different, then that's because of you. That's your decision. But I'm still that same kid that I get to enjoy from watching lowriders, watching Hondas, watching cars. I grew up in that era, and when I'm 40, when I'm 50, I mean, some of you guys like Gene, you're older. Maybe your money, if you were making quadruple the money, maybe Gene's mentality would change, or maybe not. Maybe he would just get a CRX and go balls out, and he wouldn't care about the resale value. He wouldn't care about, oh, what my friends think about me. He wouldn't think about that because he actually appreciates the brand. He appreciates what Honda stands for. Maybe he had a YouTube channel. He actually would build Hondas because he actually loved them, not just because it would attract more views. And I think that's they talked, and his team probably said something along the lines of like, well, what can we buy that quote unquote can give us views. Yeah, I'm sure he got sponsorship from some of these other companies to shout them out because that's what clout does. You know what I mean? Um, so I just wanted to share that with you guys. It's a little bit frustrating, the fact that he's gonna make so much money out of this, and yet in a way, very low key between the lines, he's being disrespectful towards not only Honda the brand, but Honda people that are enthusiasts of the car making and manufacture. If he was here, he'll be like, well, don't listen to what I have to say and mind your own goddamn business. You're right. That's true, and that's a true fact, and I have the right to watch whatever I want, and give him my time or not. Like I said, I enjoy a lot of his commentary and other stuff, but I think this just rubbed me the wrong way, um, because it's like there's so many of us that are really into Hondas in general. Whether it's Civic or Prelude or all these different things, and we grew up in different scenarios. I think that it's important to understand that um, there's gonna be channels like this ones, and there's a few of us that are really into this brand, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about all that. Maybe you guys think that is it's a good marketing. Maybe you guys don't even care. You're like, whatever. But I think part of the problem that that does is that these personalities buy these cars, trash them, and then get rid of them, or in the process end up, getting the market value goes so high that now like everyday Joe who really appreciates these cars can't buy them because everybody's just putting them through the roof, and so um, but I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys tell me? What do you guys think about that? I don't know if I'm making any sense or not, but I just don't feel like if it was up to me, if I would participate, because I would definitely participate in different ways, maybe just shouting them out or actually putting my money. If it was an enthusiast who was like, do I really like this car and I want to give it to a better home and I want to give the opportunity for someone to own this beautiful thing, without being demeaning, without saying, they're a terrible car and I just got it when I was 19, it was cool, now it's not. No, it's still a badass car, it's still pretty cool. The engineering behind it, I mean, I've never, like I said, I've never seen that guy change a rotor. He probably doesn't, and that's okay. I don't know how to change stuff. I'm not a mechanic type of person, but when he claims to build and build and build, he's like, oh, I'm gonna build it to my spec. Okay, maybe we should use different wording, because if you were building something, then maybe you would appreciate even Hondas even more because of how easy and just on a manufacturer level how good a brand is. That's what most of us have tinkered with the cars and mess with the cars. Because a Porsche, you can't even see the engine, like, so I don't expect them to know how to change a starter on a Porsche, but can you do it even in a Honda? Do you even know where the start is at? And that's the anger that I have, that um I don't have a big platform like he does, and I don't ever want to get to that big of a platform and sound disrespectful toward especially the roots. If tomorrow for whatever reason the algorithm on YouTube hits and I'm at 1 million subscribers, and somebody says, hey, you can continue growing so exponentially, but you have to start only interviewing Mercedes Benz and Porsches. You can't have none of the Honda thing. I guess my channel's not going to grow exponentially. Would I be, getting some Porsches in there? Yeah, I'll do different stuff, right? Cars that I like, that's always been the number one thing. Cars that I like, that's always been. But the fact that at 1 million subscribers, all of a sudden you guys are not going to see Hondas, that's not going to happen with me, because I I genuinely know that the channel's been growing because of Hondas. It'd be so disrespectful, um, and stupid to not walk away from it. You know what I mean? And I think so. I think all of you guys would see through that BS like right away. It kind of brings me back to Jackie. When I was working at fast food, I didn't have that much money, so I still love that car. And then now that I'm a quote unquote professional, making a little bit more money, what, now I'm supposed to go buy myself a BMW because I make more money, or because oh, Honda's for like high school kids, like you don't want to have that view of yourself or that rep. Like, I don't give a shit. I really love the brand. I really love um what they stand for, what they've done in racing, what they've done in Japan. um they're amazing little cars. Is an M3 a better car? Well, depends on what you're looking at, right? Performance, yes, I'm not going to deny it, no one should. But sometimes it's not just about how much horsepower. Sometimes it's not about how fast you can go on a straight line. Um, S2000. Like, can you really, show how much fun that car is on a 0 to 60 line? No, but put them in some twisties. Mustang can't keep up. Camaro Challenger can't keep up, and that's a beautiful thing. And not to say that those cars are wrong. I mean, Mustangs are awesome for other things, and that's part of it. Don't ever think that just because you have outgrown something, that now that gives you the right to bash on it. I'm not saying that he shouldn't think that way, right? It's not up to me to decide how he should or he shouldn't. I just feel like, damn, man, you're still gonna make money out of these people that you're bashing on them, and people are still willing to support you. Holy crap! Like, that's amazing. Either we're too stupid or he's a genius. And I don't know, man. I mean, I talk so much shit on Civics. I think that they're whack, but in reality they're amazing cars. And you guys know that, and you guys don't take it seriously. um because you understand like that food loves Hondas. And it doesn't mean like I've talked to you guys openly. I will get my Porsche one day. I will get my lowrider one day. Hondas will always be there for me. And I'm not afraid to drive my Honda when I'm 30, when I'm 40, when I'm 50, and think, oh, I've outgrown it. No, in fact, I have more respect for those people that are older driving these old school chassis because I'm like, damn, that looks so cool. Not only from a point of view that they're confident, right, or they know what they like, but just to see them that they not necessarily that they didn't outgrow the car, but they appreciate it enough to continue to drive it, which is two different things. Um, if you ever get to that age where like, I don't want to drive a Honda, no problem. No one's saying you can't, but to go back and now bash it, it's like I've had that issue with some of you guys that talk smack on body kits. Who cares if that person's putting body kits nowadays? Oh well, it's not 2002, bro. Okay, in 2002, you probably wanted those body kits, right? In 2002, people were doing Mustang front end conversions on Civics, Cadillac conversions on Civics. That was the thing back then, and whatever that maybe we went through that phase and it's no longer a thing. But reality is like at that point that whoever that person is made them happy. Then what's the point? Now you make more money or you're over that phase. Now you can go back and bash some people because I'll be honest, I see some cars that still have body kits, and you know what, they look cool. Would I drive one myself with a body kit? No, I wouldn't. But it doesn't mean that I now record them and say ricer. Like what? How are you a better person for doing that? That's just my. It's a little frustrating. Um, it's just not. I don't think it's appropriate that thanks to social media we have these personalities who can still bash on something and people will still show love and put their attention, their money and all of that stuff. And I don't know, I know I'm sounding like an old man, but I think ultimately they're amazing cars. They're not a GT3 RS, like, no shit, they're not a GT3 RS. GT3 RS is an amazing car in other ways, um, but ultimately, I think that one of the biggest things that we get out of it, and I say we because I do wrench on my car here and there, is the building of something. Yes, it's not making a million horsepower, but we know that the feeling of ordering a part, the feeling of ordering a body kit, the feeling of getting something and putting it together, or that rare piece that you're like, damn, this is very hard to find. That's the fun part, the search. Maybe some of you guys are older and you guys are going back to what got you into cars. Maybe this is your first car, like myself. I don't know anything from Accords, like I know a little bit, but I still get that joy. I still get the joy when somebody posts, hey, I got a new car and it's gonna be an Accord. I'm like, hell yeah, man. Like that to me is the fun part. And also, if one day you outgrow the Honda, that's fine. I'm not saying you have to stick with the Honda for the rest of your life. But especially if in your social media, that's how you got started, or your YouTube, and that's how you make your living, and you're a YouTuber or whatever, you started with Hondas, and now you are able to say, oh, those cars are horrible, they're terrible. That's where I have the problem. That's when I'm like, oh, I guess now they're a horrible car, but once you were able to get one of those and that was the only money that you could have and you were able to enjoy yourself and you had a good time, you forgot those moments because now your bank account has a little bit more zeros. um and that's fine. That's his opinion and this is my opinion, and I think that's the beautiful thing about it. Now I know that I'm sharing it to a safe group that likes civics. I know that all of you, or at least 80 or 70% of you, are gonna agree like, yeah, that's BS, like, you stick to your roots, things like that. But ultimately, majority of the people feel that way, and it's so damn embarrassing that there's no respect in the community, especially in Hondas. We know the rep that we have, and um I think that's one of the things that gives me the most joy, to be able to be around this community. Like Eddie Martinez says, what do people think my Honda's slow with my swap and always cuts me off? Uh, you guys are one of the most amazing builders they are, especially when you guys do it on the garage and you guys, mess with the things that you guys do. Obviously, BMW. Drivers and BMW owners do some of that. A lot of Porsche people, they don't. They take it to shops because it's a more uh, difficult chassis to work on, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that that's pretty cool. But at the same time, that's the beautiful thing about Hondas, man. Like you're able to build and piece a car together. They're little Frankensteins that you can combine a whole bunch of different stuff. Like I to this day I don't get the H2B swap. Like I'm like, how does that work, man? Like, oh, you just use adapter. What? Like, how does that work? That's pretty cool. Um, but I mean, ultimately, it's that sort of things that grinds my gears. JDM Masters, yes, I follow that channel. It's pretty cool. It's cool channel. I like when they did the FK7 spoon review. The Euro R review was like a 35-minute. I saw the whole thing. I like facts. I like things like that. Did he talk shit about you? No, he didn't. Um, he didn't. I mean, and I don't. It's not like I have a problem with him. Like I said, and I'll put it. I'll share my screen. I'll show what I'm talking about. No, man. In fact, I wouldn't. If somebody was to talk smack on me, I wouldn't address it. Like I would ignore it. The reason why I'm addressing this issue is because this is the way I kind of felt about his whole Civic. So Obsessed Garage, like I said, and I'm not afraid for you guys to go give him views. That's not the point. Like I legitimately like his other stuff, but the fact that he got this car that was 34,000 miles SI, he's very passionate and opinionated. Like, I don't care what you guys think, what I did to the car, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know, he spent 140 grand. He did. He has like 7 sets of wheels that he's going to be giving them. And it was on one of these podcasts that he did that I was like, oh, I just let me listen to their podcast, what they have to say, and then somehow they ended up on the topic of civics, and maybe he caught himself in he got himself in a situation where he was like, yeah, civics are horrible, and I was like, okay, like when you got the Civic, you were saying that you had so much fun when you were 19, and yeah, you were excited to have it back in your life, blah blah. Maybe because you were with a whole bunch of Porsche fanatics, and the Porsche guys, the ones that were there, one of them was very quiet, the other one was very opinionated, and I was like, that guy sounds like a tool. Like he doesn't. It was interesting just to hear them. All these car enthusiasts were like, yeah, Civics are horrible, and I'm like, the fuck? Did you guys even know how to do a swap? Do you guys even know what they're capable of? Like, any of you guys ever wrench on a freaking car to begin with? And I think that's um I don't know. That's the part that gets me, that people are still gonna go and show love and support to their channels, even though they're bashing on a car that we all love. It's not alone the guy that did an interview on it. They based on Civics like crazy. They bash on Civics like crazy. Let alone the guy that did an interview on it. They bash. I don't know which one that is. Yeah, I don't know which one that is. But anyways, I'll start posting some of your comments. People in expensive cars or newer hate to see a Honda pass them or cut them off. I hate to see new BMWs cut me off. They need to learn how to use the directional. Um, no, it comes with that. Like I said, it comes with with the idea that, like, I've never felt that because Jackie, right? Um, Has there been moments? Yes, I got that Subaru STI because I wanted something newer and faster, because it served a different purpose than Jackie. I wanted something that was going to be reliable. At the time, I was commuting 2 hours away on the weekends and the weekends back. So yeah, I wanted something newer. Could a Honda Civic done the same thing? Of course, but I wanted something different. I wanted more performance, and the STI, let's be honest, is more performance based than a base Civic or even a Civic Si. Can you have fun on both? Of course, but I never caught myself in a Subaru STI and say, "Oh, look at those Civic SIs, they're lame." No, because they're amazing cars. It's just that now what I wanted, and again, I'm not saying that you cannot dislike Hondas or love them forever. Like, you can do whatever the hell you want. I just don't think that if at one point they gave you so much of a satisfaction, now you get to bash on them. And we know that that's how we all, most of us started with a budget type of car, whether it's Nissan, Toyota, and Honda. It's the same thing. If all of a sudden now you make big bucks, now you're saying that Toyotas are horrible and they're horrible cars, like, then you're an idiot. Like, no, they're not. And it's just it's saddening to see that even through all that, their channel's still gonna grow. He's gonna make more than $140,000 on that raffle. Let's call it what it is. Um, he'll get rid of that car. He'll be like, "Phew, okay, let's get rid of that junk, the Civic Si. He's gonna get the regular motor, the ITR motor." He didn't even drive the car. I think he drove it like twice after the swap was done because he's like, it was just for clout. It's for views, and I think that's the part that um, may be frustrating. And I know that's a personal thing. That's up to me to watch it or not. That's why I didn't watch none of the Civic series because I know like this guy, his heart is not in it, it's just for views. And obviously, you could tell the views were much higher on Civic because you and I, that live Hondas, are really like are tuning in, and it's like, yeah, okay, I guess it's they're still gonna talk smack, but I still wanna have that car, that I actually appreciate it. But yeah. Anyways, all right. Rob says, "What's up, man?" Like I said, that was my little rant. Um, but it's ultimately we stick with what we want. Don't ever be ashamed of what you drive. You may drive an older Honda because that's what your finances at the moment allow you to have, or you drive a Honda because that's what you like and you're not embarrassed of it. I think that's something that I definitely admire, and I think that you guys should also um, have that in the back of your head. I'm going to have to check the video out. Oh well, yeah, I mean, like I said, the 140,000, he just goes over all the stuff that he did, and I guess it sums up to 140,000, where he was describing how he felt about the Civic was on a podcast with P Talk. It's on his channel, and it was, I don't remember 1 minute, it was like 5 or 20 minutes into the podcast, and I was just like, um not the best. That glare from the window, yeah, I do apologize. My wife's doing some other stuff over there. She doesn't want to be on camera, so I have to kind of have it like this next time. And plus, I'm doing it earlier than usual, so that's the reason. Like I mentioned, I have trivia night. Depends on how old of Civic, the newer Civic guys. Yes, that's bad. Um, I don't know. Honda Civics are pretty awesome. Yeah, even the newer ones. I still like my 80s, 90s much more than the newer chassis, even though they're performance-wise, they're day and night. Like, let's be honest, the new Civics, the new Accords are day and night performance from 90s. Uh, but it just not always appeals to the masses. Um, that like the enthusiastic part of it. Like for instance, a Honda Civic nowadays is much safer than a EF. We know that, but for us, it's like, yeah, it's also heavier because we see it differently, And the Honda manufacturers, like, we just don't want to get a lawsuit. We don't want to get sued, and so you're never gonna have anybody happy, even if they're Honda enthusiasts. Guys, what's your opinion on Nardo Gray EG Civic? In my opinion, they look clean as, yeah. It's been done, man. It's been done. We actually interviewed one guy with the Nardo Gray, and it looks clean. Black wheels will absolutely set it off. So definitely, if you wanted to go for that route, go for it. Proud Honda boys, always and forever, man. It's one of those things. EFs, EGs, and like I said, we're talking to a safe group of people that like Hondas. It's easy to, oh yeah, we all like Hondas, but what about when you get older and uh people, maybe not you, but people start making comments about like, hey, you should probably get a more adult car, you should get, it's like, nah, man, this is what I like. And don't let those peer pressures guide you away from the car that you really like based on other people's um opinions. And so maybe like me, I'm still looking forward to the day that I roll into to my work site, which is a school, and I'm rolling in my 90s Hondas, and I have no problem with that. I like it. It keeps it clean, and that's something that I really really admire about not only the Honda chassis, but the real true Honda enthusiasts. We keep our cars clean, keep them simple, and there's nothing, not a bigger joy than to see another Honda 80s, 90s, whatever it is, and kept it clean. It's like, that's what's up, especially when we don't act stupid, and trying to, you know, drive like idiots, like older chassis, older people that we go and cars and coffee are very mellow and just kind of relax. Those are the people that I really, really appreciate. And I think that's why this channel has been growing. Because, and it's been growing at whatever speed is growing. Could it grow more? Yes. That would require me to do reaction videos. That would require me to do, you know, burnouts, straight pipe this, straight pipe that. That would require me to do all these other type of things that I'm not willing to do because it just doesn't grab my attention. So I think a lot of the older heads like yourselves, you guys are really taking the time to watch the videos and say, yeah, actually, I enjoy the videos because it's history, stories, and all of us can relate one way or another. The way we started with the car, the little mods that got us through, and now, I think one of the most beautiful things that I look forward to is when we interview people. They're different ages. The last interviews that we had were very young individuals, different backgrounds. One's in the Marines, one is a business owner. The other one is just starting with learning how to ranch, but he was able to do the Hunjin Bay himself. I mean, talk about a diverse set of people, and all behind the same, the Honda Civic sixth generation. The next one that's coming up, I haven't edited, but I will be editing it most likely by Sunday. It will be live. It's a youngster, and it's a dad and father and son project. And so the dad hit me up. It's like, hey, I think you should interview my son. And the car still is in progress. I'm like, yeah, for sure, no problem. And the engine bay looks amazing. So that's what they've been up to, and that's two different generations. And Leroy, that's the name of the gentleman that we interview. He's so knowledgeable about the car. He loves the car. He's like, yeah, man, like I can't wait to continue to build this one, continue to build something else. So that's all that matters. And so hopefully one day somebody like him, like a youngster, that he continues to move up and gets a little bit more money. I hope he doesn't show up and now, like this guy that I'm talking to you guys, feels freely to start talking shit on Civics and how terrible they are to be, performance wise. No, they're amazing performance cars. Probably never even went to a track. Like he mentioned, he went to the track, he didn't like it because it was how abusive it was. I get it. I completely understand what you mean by how much you abuse the car. Well, then I'm sure that pound by pound, you go with your GT3 RS, some guy in a Civic's gonna come and kick his ass. So what does that say? That the car was terrible? Maybe you were terrible. Maybe you don't appreciate the car. Um, yeah, I mean it's crazy. It's crazy. Someone, what's for lunch? I don't know. Oh, we're getting Chipotle. Is it ready? Okay, so we're gonna get Chipotle because that's what we're gonna get. And yeah, I completely agree. You have folks that are passionate about Hondas and folks that just see them as a normal beater, etc. Pure disrespect in my eyes. Thank you. The distance, yeah, the distance. Yeah, man. I mean, but I'm gonna go a step further than that because we're talking about car enthusiasts. We're not talking about everyday. There's people that give two shits about cars and they're like, oh, we drive a Honda because it's cheap, budget. That's what they mean. Oh, and it's reliable. I get those people, no problem. I have no issues with you. We're talking about an enthusiast that is an enthusiast, and he has said that that's what got him started. His first love was the Civic Si, um, and now, fast forward 20 years later, he's been lucky enough that some of you guys, viewers, grew his channel, are buying his products based on watching his car. He quit his, wealth managing career, and now he gets to do this a full time. And now he understands that a Civic is going to get more views. This is an enthusiast. We're not talking about my mom or my dad that just wants a car to drive or to drop the kids off to school. We're talking about this guy went out of his way to get a Civic Si, 25 grand, with 37,000 miles on the original B16 because of the viewage that he was gonna get. Puts an ITR, puts this sway bars, blah blah, blah, rotors, calipers, blah blah blah, spoon, all these different stuff, and doesn't even drive it, and then says it's a terrible car. You're idiot, man. That's the biggest issue. And yeah, so to us it's respectful. Sadly, no one no one really cares, and they're going to continue to support people like that. Not just him. I've seen other channels that are major that they've gone in and bought cheap E30s, BMWs. And there's some people out there that legitimately love the E30s. It's like, dude, like now the prices went up and you just trash that one. It was just for your views. The same thing is for the 240 scene. I mean, we saw what the 240 scene did thanks to YouTubers and drifting. Those things are shut up. Like even a clapped out one, you get it for $7,000 because people that had big social platforms did that. They bought those cars and destroyed them, and then it's like, all right, let me go buy a real car. And that's the issue that I have, I guess. Some people judge you based on what you drive. I hate that so much. I don't. I think the part of it is they do. I think it's more, how does the person who's driving the car feel about themselves that really matter? Because I can have people judge me and I'm sure they do. I do that, and I shouldn't. I look at somebody like a Tesla owner. I'm like, you're driving a big old battery, right? I look at somebody, especially young guy. If I say young guy with an M3 or a Porsche, I'm like, oh, I wonder if mom and dad bought it for you. And I shouldn't do that. I really shouldn't. Um, and then I kind of talk to myself about it, like, okay, stop thinking that way. Um, but ultimately, I think it's that, like, you should not care about what people think about you, and it's difficult because this society is constantly telling you that you should care. But again, regardless of if you agree Honda in this specific topic, if you agree it, that's fine. I'm not tripping on you, but for you to actually now that you have a platform to go and bash on them and say how terrible they are, and he said it, it's terrible to drive a Civic. They're terrible cars. Like, I don't know, blah blah blah. And I'm like, hmm, I guess. I guess that's all. Yeah, as you guys can tell, I was definitely passionate about this one. Um, anyways, I appreciate you guys tuning in. We know we love our little old school cars. We know that doesn't define us. In fact, if you guys have a chance, now that I have you guys here, I've been hooked on this episodes from Lowrider Role Model. I've watched all these videos at least 3 times each. I know some of them I watched so many more. And obviously some of you guys may not know, but the lowrider scene, not just in Cali but in other parts of the country, it has like negative stigma to it, that they're gangbangers, and they're not up to good, and they're bad people and blah blah blah. And so this channel, lowrider role models, they highlight the stories of professionals that happen to drive lowriders, and I absolutely love that. Um, and we know how much these cars cost. We know that they're older chassis. We know that they're very expensive, and we know that we have that stigma that once you're a quote unquote a professional, you should get a real car. And that's why this channel, I absolutely love. I love these interviews, and so I kind of want to continue doing that with Hondas, because you can be a professional and still drive a badass clean Honda and keep it clean. As always, we go for the car, we stay for the person. I appreciate you guys. I know I didn't show a lot of the comments, partly because I'm really really hungry, but I'll go back and read this. Yeah, there was a lot of comments. Much love to you guys. You guys are freaking amazing. So what's to come? What's to come is, I think on Sunday I'm gonna have that interview. It's a Midori Green Civic Hatch. Um, and then Monday I may have something, maybe a Carson Coffee. I'm not sure. Uh, and then I'll have a couple more Civic interviews. And yeah, I will definitely have a watch and talk for you guys very very soon. And yep, I'll keep putting on any of the meets, even if I don't attend them. I'll put them on the community tab. For now, you guys have a wonderful Thursday. Stay safe, and yep, that's all I wanted to share with you guys. Civics for the win, Hondas for the win, and yeah, don't let anybody guide you away from that. Enjoy it. Enjoy those